So why don't you tell me a little bit about why you came in today?
Well, just I've been having a lot of problems with can't eat.
You can't eat?
They won't let me eat.
Who's they when you say they won't let you eat?
The people.
The people. And do these people have names or?
I don't even, their voices, they say they yell when I grab the fork.
They yell when you grab the fork.
Yeah, usually they're pretty quiet, they just whisper little things, I can't really make them out, but when I touch the fork, there's just a screaming, wearing, yell.
And so could you characterize at all the tone of these voices when they're communicating with you?
Well, they don't communicate with me. They're just like sounds like you hear when you're walking in the street. The conversations you kind of hear in the back of your head, but they get louder in certain situations, mostly food-related situations.
And have you ever had any difficulties in the past or felt restrictions surrounding eating?
My brother had this gluten allergy, so we couldn't have gluten in the house, but other than that, not really.
And how do you feel when you are trying to have a meal, per se, and then you hear these noises or voices start trying to prevent you from eating?
Well, I don't like it.
You don't, so it must feel really bad, right?
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
A nightmare.
Because I need to eat.
And so are you feeling hungry at all because you're not eating?
I'm gonna go with yes.
Yes, okay. And so when you're hearing these voices, what else, do you feel anything physical, or is it more just a sort of sound you're hearing?
It's a sound. I guess my head starts hurting a little, but I think that's just because the raising the volume.
Raising the volume?
Yeah.
So has anything else been going on aside from the immediate difficulty of not being able to eat because of these voices?
Well, that's kind of the main thing, but I don't know, I guess work's just as it usually is, a little bit stressful, but not.
And what kind of job do you have?
I crunch the numbers at this firm, this law firm. They have me go over the numbers when people are being audited.
What are they being audited for? Taxes or?
Yeah, they're taxes generally. That's what I do. I audit the taxes.
Okay, and so what kind of people do you interact with at work? What is your day typically like?
Oh, I don't spend a lot of time with people. It's mostly in a cubicle. On Wednesdays we bring in the clients, but I don't really speak to them. I just kind of sit in the room, and when they talk to me, I read the files on their audits, but usually it's the lawyers that do the actual talking.
And how do you feel about not having that consistent interaction with other people and mostly spending time doing this work by yourself?
It's not that bad. I have a cat.
You have a cat? And does that serve as sort of a companion for you and fulfill needs of being with other people?
Guess. During my free time, I would hang with my friends, although it hasn't been quite as frequent just because I've been having my own, just the eating thing has kind of gotten in the way, and there's generally food when I'm with them, and I can't handle the big blaring sound when I'm trying to be with my friends.
So, how do you feel when you are trying to socialize with friends and you're having a meal per se, and then you hear these noises? How does that make you feel?
Oh, I haven't had a meal with another person for how long has it been? I'd say 2 months now, just because the voices have been too much. I couldn't handle it, so I eat alone.
It must be really hard to not be able to have meals with friends because you're so put off by these noises and that are so problematic for you?
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. I kind of do miss it because I did hang out with my friends a lot more, and yeah, I haven't seen them really for long periods of time since the voices happened. I haven't really gotten to like hang with them. It's just something that I can't really do anymore, which is problematic.
So, has anything else aside from the voices sort of distanced your relationship with your friends?
Well, not that I can think of. I don't think I've done anything different. Not that I can think of, no.
No. Okay. So, it's primarily a problem of when you're eating meals, you're hearing these voices, and it's really upsetting for you, right?
Yeah, it's like just not something I can really get used to.
So, what about it would you say, the most disturbing thing when you're trying to eat?
I'd say the woman's voice is the most disturbing.
And how would you characterize that voice?
Very, very high, very shrill, like piercing.
And would you say that that voice reminds you of anything else in your life, that it would bother you so much, even though you've just told me that it's a voice and not an actual person?
I mean, I don't know if it's one specific person. It's certainly not someone I can pinpoint, but yeah, no, it doesn't sound like anyone familiar, but it's definitely a woman's voice.
A woman's voice. And do you have any expectations or habits surrounding eating that you were used to before these voices started happening? Like patterns or habits?
Well, I generally liked to eat with friends. Like during lunch, I would tend to eat with my friends. On Fridays, I would go out and like go to bars and stuff with friends. I would. It was a very social thing for me for a while. It wasn't like every day, but it was a pretty social time for me. I guess.
And if you were to say to your friends, like, I'm having a really hard time being around you guys and eating with you guys because I'm feeling distracted or there's something going on, how do you think those friends would react?
I think they'd be very understanding, but I also think they'd be kind of freaked out. I don't really want to put that on them. I definitely don't want their pity.
You don't want their pity?
Yeah, I definitely anticipate, like, from some of them I'd get pity, and from some of them they'd just be very confused, and I don't really want to deal with that.
And have you had any experience in the past with feeling guilty when someone has like felt bad for you or tried to step in and help you, or is that the kind of thing that you just aren't interested in dealing with your friends?
There have definitely been times where I've looked for attention when I've felt bad, and it's something I'm just trying to get rid of, and I think I have gotten rid of it. Like, I really try not to complain about really anything when I can help it.
And
like,
why do you think you don't let yourself complain?
Because why bother other people with my problems? Everyone's got problems.
Well, I agree, definitely. Everyone has their own problems, but maybe sometimes it would be helpful to just let some things off your chest or just rant a little bit with your friends, because do you ever experience your friends doing that with you? Like ranting or...
I mean, yeah, but it's not like big things. It's like comic ripping. Like, I have no problem talking about if like something really ridiculous happened, like it took an hour for me to get fingerprinted the other day because of bureaucracy. I have no problem complaining about stupid things like that, but like these problems are the kind of things that I feel like I should be able to deal with, although I haven't been able to deal with them. That's why I'm here.
Because of the voices and feeling like they're bothering you all the time.
Yeah, because I haven't been able to, well, they're not bothering me all the time. Like I said, they're really pretty quiet, or like pretty in the back of my head. I can mostly function unless I'm eating.
Unless you're eating. And are these voices like understandable? Are they saying like English words, or are they just noise, more like white noise?
They're mostly noise, but I can, like, I can make out, like, kind of a conversation, but I have never been able to, like, identify the exact, like, what's actually being said.
Okay.
Like, I can only pick up little words in there.
And if you had the opportunity to sort of get these voices to go away, what would you, not say to them, but what would you sort of do to make them go away if you could? Like, would you change anything about your eating, or would, I don't know, what would you do?
I mean, yeah, I'd eat differently, possibly more healthily. I'll certainly start eating a lot more once the voices go away.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
So they're preventing you from eating enough food and
Like, I'm
having
definitely-
pleasant meals.
Like, I do force myself to eat just because I know I need to physically, but I no longer enjoy it. I definitely don't have, like, large, real meals anymore. Like, I mostly only really eat small things like, just like chips or fruit or whatever is lying around, because I don't want to make a big meal that I don't end up eating really any of.
So are the voices more when you are eating anything at all, or is it when you sit down for a meal?
No, it's when I'm eating anything. It's just if I'm eating smaller things, that means less time having to put up with the voices.
I see. So you said these voices are exclusive to eating and you're not
No,
hearing them.
the screaming is exclusive to eating. I do hear, like, the murmuring on occasion, even when I'm not eating. That's kind of a constant thing that I've more or less been able to deal with. I still don't like it, and it affects me, but, like, the big problem is the screaming that happens when I'm trying to eat.
Mm-hmm. And how would you say your mood has been lately, just in general?
I'd say a lot tenser, more anxious.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think I haven't been very snappy with people, but it's possible I have. I certainly don't like being around really anyone as much as I used to, because it's just a lot to deal with, because I'm really conscious about acting weird with with the voices going on, because I can still hear them, but again, they're not that loud when I'm not eating, but it's still difficult to be dealing with.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to recommend that we talk more next time about maybe how you've been doing since this session, and maybe I would like you to try and have a meal with friends and see how the voices behave in that circumstance, and then maybe we can also talk about certain medications that may be able to help you not experience the voices and also help you sort of return to your daily activities and be able to enjoy time with your friends. How does that sound?
I'd be willing to try that, yes, thank you.
Okay,
I'm
great.
not sure if I'm really ready to have another meal with people right now,
Okay.
but that is definitely something I would like to be able to do again.
Okay, great. So why don't we focus on just you coming in with a really tight description or something of how these voices are when you eat, and we can talk about it more next time.
Okay,
Great. Sounds good. It was nice meeting with you.
thank you.